Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope everything is fantastic. Everything here is great. Still have a little bit of a lost voice. No crud that I'm aware of at this point. I don't feel off at all. Just tired. Just worn out. And that's okay. I don't mind being tired, worn out. Somebody wanted, Chris Hahn asked about the games that I picked up. So these are them. The vast majority of these were not on my list. They were given to me or whatever. So I will talk about what was on my list for a shuffle. I picked this up. I had 4 things or 5 things on my list. Most of them ended up either not being there or were there in such limited quantities that I couldn't get them. The 4 shuffle expansion, one of my helpers went and got in the line. Asmodee's store this year was like a walk-up window. And they had a warehouse that you couldn't go in, so it was like somebody took your order and then went and got it. It was a very weird experience, but whatever. I've seen that. I saw that at Essen last year. That was the first time I'd ever seen it. The deep print booth was set up that way. So okay, this was on my list. Wanted it, got it. Cool. The only other thing in this stack that was on my list that I got was Rock Hard. So let's get it out. And then we can talk about how I got the rest of these games. Because, you know, it is what it is. I got Rock Hard again. This was a super limited quantity. And I had to send a booth helper to get it for me because they weren't selling early enough for me to get it before I had to be at my booth. I got Rock Hard with the Jackie Fox expansion or promo card and, you know, whatever. And I got it autographed, and I got to talk with Jackie. She was staying in my hotel, so we had a little chat at breakfast one morning. That was really cool. She was a super nice person and seemed to really love all the love she was receiving. Those were the 2 things that were on my list that I got. The other things were Ancient Knowledge, Antiquity, I think, or whatever. I don't know, whatever. The Ancient Knowledge expansion, I guess they brought like 50. I don't know. They sold out in like the first 10 minutes or something, so I just never had a chance to get it. No biggie. I'll get it eventually. The good news is I don't have FOMO. I never do. I don't care. I'll pick it up in next year. I don't need to pick it up right this minute. No big worries. The other things that were on my list were... Oh, I'm sorry. Quartz the Dice game was on my list. I didn't have to get this, though. I'll tell you about that in a second. Luthier, I wanted to check it out. Of course, it was just a demo only. SETI, same thing. And then Vagrant Song from Weird Games has like a Amigo of the Devil thing, but they didn't have it. I couldn't even see it there, which was whatever. So, the other stuff. Quartz the Dice game, Tranquility, Nestlings, and another paper app dungeon I got by attending the Lucky Duck event. I was invited by my friend Scott, even though I'm not really a media person, but I am. I'm on the media. Quartz the Dice game was on my list because my group absolutely loves Quartz the Dice game, so I was like, sure, I'll go pick up. You know, so I was going to pick this up regardless. It was in the box. We opened it. We played it. This will not replace Quartz for me. This is actually... I don't know. It's a dice game version of Quartz, but it takes longer and it's more complicated, and it's just, I don't know, not as fun for me. Paper App Dungeon, we've talked about it on the channel. I could be a little bit... to be completely frank with you, I like this product, and if you want a single-player roll and write with just a book and a pencil, go for it. You won't regret it. But when I did the review of this, Here's the thing. In this box, there's a book and a pencil. And inside that book is the rules to play the game. Play the game by those rules. There is a link in here that's like, if you want the full rules, go to this page. And it takes you to a set of rules that the designer has written. And the designer has a series of these games. And by those rules, by the actual, like, real, full rules, the game is unplayable. It's like... It's not unplayable. It's technically playable. You will just die every other floor. It's not fun at all. This version, much more fun. Just play by the rules as they're printed and by your interpretation. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the nonsense. Just play it this way. You'll have a blast. Tranquility, I know nothing about. This was also given out at that same event. So yeah, and we did Legos at that event. Nestlings I knew about and I was looking forward to it. It wasn't on my list because I figured I would get it and play it eventually, but we got this in that same bag and I'm excited about it. I like birds and I want to see what this is all about. So we're going to be playing this one probably this week and see if it stays in the collection or goes on the donation pile. I played this at Gen. We'll talk about what I played at Gen Con. We played this quite a few times. This is Moving Wild from Oink. Apparently, this is based on another game from a few years ago, whatever. Or it is the same game, just repackaged for Oink. It's a very simple drafting zoo game that we absolutely loved. We played this quite a bit throughout the show, so I've obviously had to own it. Trick Draw. I got this for free at the Rolling Dice and Taking Names Strike tournament. Everybody got one of these with their t-shirt. Don't know anything about Good Games Publishing or House Fish Balloon, whatever that means. Don't know anything about this game, but I'll probably just take it to the library. And last but not least is Gnar. This is kind of a joke because one of my booth helpers really loves this game. We played this game last year in Essen as a company to determine if we wanted to print this, and my review at that time when we played it was, this is technically a game. That was it. That's all I could say about it. Like, it was just a boring, dry cards with symbols game. Like, there's no nothing to this game. But my booth helper really likes it, and I was like, so I was kind of talking shit about it. So he went and traded for it and gave it to me. If you don't know, last day of Gen Con, there's a bunch of trading happening. Publishers come around and say, I've got it, this game, do you want it? Sure. I traded for Furnace, which I don't enjoy, so I gave that to a helper or let them trade it. I traded for... Actually, I think that's all I did. I let the booth helpers trade. Like, I don't need more games. The games that I want, I research what I don't need... I'm very limited in what I've got allow into my house. So most of this will probably get donated to my library. Most of this stack. I'm definitely keeping Moving Wild. But I think I'll play Nestlings, and I mean, it might stay. Who knows? It might be the next thing. I don't know. But the other stuff, I'm pretty sure is going to go away. What I played at Gen Con was a lot of stuff. Wednesday, it was basically just me and one of my helpers until later that evening. And actually, Tuesday I started setting up with Marty and Tony from the Rolling Dice and Taking Names podcast, and then we went to see a baseball game. And so maybe we'll talk. We might talk about extracurriculars tomorrow. This is just about games. Wednesday we finished setting up early before lunch. I think we were done, and then we went and got lunch, and then me and Ben, my longtime compatriot, he also started with Portal Games, started helping Portal Games in 2014. So we played Land and Sea. I liked it. We played Lawyer Up. We had played that a few years ago at Origins and liked it. And we played Pagan, the new 2-player asymmetric card game from Capstone, and it was all right. I'm not excited for it. It was fine. Played Courts the Dice game because I went to the Lucky Duck thing. Again, I'd rather just play Courts. This is more complex and takes longer. And we played a preview copy of 23 Knives. Tyler, the designer of 23 Knives, which is coming from Play to Z. Soon it launches on Kickstarter. Tyler has been helping Portal Games for many, many, many years. He edits most of our rulebooks, and he volunteers at conventions and helps out. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, did I play anything? I didn't play. The only thing I played on Thursday, technically, well, I played some prototypes. I took a pitch meeting with a guy who I really like his designs, and I'm hoping that one day one fits. We had the Strike tournament at Rolling Dice and Taking Names at the Spaghetti Factory or Spaghetti Warehouse or whatever. So I technically played a game of Strike. Friday, we played Forest Shuffle, no expansion. I had talked about it, so one of the guys went and bought it, and we played it, so everybody could try it, and we liked it a lot. Played Captain Flip. I guess that won. I don't pay attention to this stuff. It won the Spiel or something, or it was a nominee. It was a game. Yeah. I wouldn't say no to it. It's fine. Nothing special. We played a very strange rummy variant called Murray the Asshole Frog. We played this quite a bit throughout the show. It's just rummy, but with this frog cards that when you draw them, you have to play them and they eat other players' melds. That's about it, honestly. And then we played a few games of Moving Wild, which was cool. Liked it, bought it the next day. Saturday, we played Moving Wild and Murray the Asshole Frog. Saturday night is an event that I went to. I ended up kind of leaving kind of early. Sunday night, packed up and left, but before everybody left, two other games I played. Panda Panda. It's a very strange little game, but it was cute and fun and super quick. I don't know that I would buy it, but I would gladly sit in and play it if anybody wants to, pull it out and be like, hey, we're waiting 5 minutes on the food or whatever. And then we played Far Away, which was a very intriguing little drafting game with some interesting, you have to kind of draft things in a particular, or play things in a particular order so that they score, because they score kind of in reverse play order. It was a really neat game. I liked it a lot. But overall, this is a very small haul for me. Usually I do a lot of trading, but being the only employee at the booth, the volunteers, I trust them implicitly, but I don't feel like it's their responsibility to sit there and talk to customers and take cash. So I tried to be available at the booth as much as possible. I had a few meetings I had to take and, go to the bathroom, obviously, but I didn't walk the halls much during the actual show, so I really didn't have a chance to pick much up or to organize trades or do anything like that. I just was, I'm going to spend my, whatever this is, $70 and that's it, and then come home with whatever people drop off, because these are friends, it's all friends, and they're like, here, try this, and I go, okay. So yeah, that was my Gen Con. Those are the things I brought home with me. If you have any questions about any of them, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go back to work now. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is xerosis. It's a noun meaning a typical hardening of aging and skin tissue. Ophelia constantly visits European spas to slow the onset of xerosis. 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 Is that not psoriasis? I didn't know that. I thought skin loosened up and became really thin with age, not hardened.